Alright, welcome back everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see all the future fun videos we have coming in. So, I'm coming to you once again from the Nerve Center here, the tent, while we get everything set up and tested so that we know everything's going to work great when we get to the island. So today, what we're going to talk about is actually sleeping arrangements. So, I'm getting way too old to sleep on the floor. That's not a good plan when you're going to be out hiking 15-20 miles. You don't want to start with a sore back. So we actually have a plan for that. Now, last year, I actually took this cot right here, and yeah, I definitely lost my mind. I know, I can hear you. It was crazy. That thing weighs almost 20 pounds. Not that that was a major issue, but again, this year we're trying to cut weight and make things a little bit easier for our hike in. So that thing weighs about 20 pounds, and I knew there was better options out there. Last year I was just rushing, didn't really have the time to do the research, but this year I've got time. So this is what I came up with. This is Outdoors Nature Hike. Ordered this from Amazon. I bought it, I paid for it. This is not a paid review. So I will be letting you know my honest opinions. Even if they gave it to me, I'd be letting you know my honest opinions because that's how I am. But this thing weighs about 5 pounds. That's a far cry from the 20 pounds that this one over here weighed. So saving 15 pounds right off the bat, that's good. Now for part 2, we need to see, is it comfortable? So to find out if it's comfortable, we're actually going to spend the night in the tent tonight. And I'm going to sleep on this and see how it does. And if it's terrible, I'm going to send it back. If it's not, I'm going to take it to the island and be really happy I saved myself 15 pounds. And plus, just space. You know, this takes up way less space. I'm sure you guys have seen these Coleman cots. They're about, 3.5 feet tall when they're all folded up. And they just take up a ton of room. So, let's get this thing put together. I will pre-warn you, I have not taken this out of the bag, out of the packaging. I have not assembled it at all, so this will be my absolute first time assembling it, and we'll see if it's actually easy or if it's really difficult, because that might make a difference also. Okay, we're gonna unzip the bag here. I should also pre-warn you, I have seen things like this put together before, so I'm not going into it completely blind. I at least have a general idea of how this should go. So, got some poles here, still in the bags. Like I said, not put this together at all. Grab our bands off here. Alright, these are shot corded together, so that makes that pretty easy. They go together like that. There's one done. I bet you that's a runner. And same thing. I bet you this is the other side. And these actually feel like a decent quality metal. This thing's rated, I think, about 350 pounds is what it will hold, which is good because I'm a big guy. So here we have, look like a bunch of feet. These put together and laid out. And that's it. It's put together. So it didn't take too long. Didn't seem to be too hard. I do like the wide bottoms on these feet. That disperses the weight really well. I don't have the floor liner in here, which I know is risky, but I try to be conscious and get things with wide feet, and that helps distribute the weight also. So the next thing is, will it support me? While I'm sitting down, I have some gap in between me and the ground. Hasn't broke yet, so that's a good start. See about actually laying on this thing. Well, that's not too bad. It's possibly a little short, maybe. I don't know. Well, I'm not hanging off the edge. My head is barely. Okay. So I can move around on this thing, and it's not breaking. I don't have any issues, and I'm not touching the ground. And like I said, I'm a big boy. So as far as holding the weight, initial impressions, it will hold the weight. That's not a problem. As far as length, I'm not very tall. I'm, I think, 5'7", 5'8", something like that. And you know, I'm head to toe. But I don't know that that's going to be a major issue. I guess we'll see tonight when I actually sleep on the thing and see how that goes. So the only other thing is usually getting in and out of these taller cots over here like these. You can sit down and you can, you know, these are a lot higher, so you can sit on these really easily. But these, in order to get in and out of, you really have to be careful because they will tip. Although this one doesn't seem very tippy. Getting in and out of it, you want to be careful not to just, you know, plop down on it. But yeah, that doesn't seem very tippy at all. So I'm pretty impressed with that. It did have instructions in the bag, as well as on the outside of this thing. So that was kind of nice. If you lose the paper instructions, which you always do, it's printed right on the cot itself. There's tabs here, and I'm a little curious what these do, because of course I didn't read the instructions. I think the cot assembly is pretty easy, and first impressions are, I like it. Okay, so the other part of my sleep system, as you can imagine, I'm not just sleeping on this with hopes and dreams and a wood stove. I'm actually using a sleeping bag, and it's quite a heavy-duty sleeping bag, to be honest with you. Some of you may recognize this already, but this is military surplus, Army issued sleeping bag. It's the three-piece system, and this is currently in its compression sack, compressed up. We're going to take these straps off, and we'll get this out here. Now, this sleep system from the Army is actually rated at -20 degrees. So I've seen guys actually sleep in this system in sub-freezing weather, just directly in the snow, and actually complain about being a bit too warm. So I'm not worried about being cold this year, even with the wood stove, which might be good. I may not have to, you know, burn as much wood or keep it as warm in here, but we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so we'll get this out of the stuff sack itself. Set that there for now. And unroll it. This is a mummy style bag. Some people really don't like mummy style bags. I'm not a huge fan of them. Used one last year, and they sure do keep you warm. So even though I'm not a huge fan of it, I'm still going to use it because I'd rather be warm. This bag here, this outer layer is a Gore-Tex layer. It's water resistant, so technically, you know, you could sleep outside in this. You could get rained on and you won't get wet in this. It's a three-piece system, like I said, and I'm not going to go through and bore you guys with how to assemble and disassemble this. There's videos for that. This is just what we're going to use. So got one zipper there, got another zipper here, and lastly a third zipper. So when I'm actually sleeping in this, honestly, I'm not going to zip up all three of these, because you wake up in the middle of the night and you really got to go to the bathroom. Boy, that's going to be it's going to be trouble. You're going to make a mess. So I'll probably just zip the outer one when I'm actually in here sleeping. But each one of these bags are different bags. I believe this is called a patrol bag, and then the green one I believe is, or no, I'm sorry. I think the black one is the intermediate. The green one that's in here, I believe is called the patrol bag. And then the outer is the bivy, which helps keep it all contained and also keep heat in and moisture off of you. So they all stuff into one another, and that will be what we're sleeping in. So one of the guys that went with us last year used this, and yeah, he complained frequently about him being too hot. So I'm actually looking forward to having a really, really warm sleeping bag. You can use this year round. You don't have to use it all together. You could use the separate pieces. So this is the only sleeping bag that I have to own for all year. And I'm going to try that out tonight too. I actually have two more things to make myself more comfortable. I have this little teeny tiny thing which weighs almost nothing, and I can literally stick this in my pocket. It takes up no room in my pack and adds really no additional weight. Could potentially make a huge difference according to the manufacturers of this. So this is actually made by Outdoor Vitals, and if you haven't heard of them, they're not sponsoring me. I did get this for free. I had to pay the $10 shipping and handling. They normally sell this on their website, I think for like 25 bucks or something like that. I paid the $10 shipping and handling, and they sent it to me for free. They're kind of a direct-to-consumer company, and I love their philosophy. They don't pay me to say this. I just think they're a really cool company. I would absolutely love to try more of their products, but unfortunately, you know, given my situation right now, you know, I just really can't afford to do that because I have some of these things. So it's tough to spend, you know, additional money on a sleeping bag when I have one. But they have really great sleeping bags from what it looks like. I've watched a ton of their videos. So anyways, free plug, go check them out. They have cool stuff which looks like it works really, really well. I'm going to try out their pillow, which is kind of a special design. It unfolds. This is their pillow. You see it's actually cut in a circular shape at the top, and that's intentionally designed to work with the mummy style bags. They say it's supposed to take about 3 breaths to blow this up, so let's see what they're talking about. I'd say that's 3 breaths, and they have a nice valve in there, so even when you stop, it doesn't let all the air out. And then you can just put that cap back on, and it's a very soft, stretchy material. I'm not sure what they call this on the outside, but it feels very comfortable. And you can see that round shape that Outdoor Vitals has just sticks right into the hood of the sleeping bag itself, so it doesn't come flying out when I'm sleeping. So I like that idea. I'll let you guys know how it works in the morning. The other thing I have here is by Legit Camping. It's cool because it's got a sloth on it. I actually ordered this I think a year or two ago. They didn't give it to me. I paid for it. Bought it before YouTube. So this is a sleeping pad. This little teeny tiny thing, which basically breaks down into about the size of a Nalgene bottle, is a sleeping pad. And I have used this, and it is actually pretty comfortable. Nice little strap to keep it all secure. Similar situation here with the air inflation valve. And basically this just rolls out. It's really long, and it'll go the whole length of this cot easily. I might even have a little bit too much. Now the one thing I got to figure out, one of the reasons that I had ordered this was because it actually had it's got a valve here for a pillow. So maybe I have 2 pillows, maybe I only use 1. Maybe I just leave this hanging off the edge of it and I don't use that part. I'm not positive what I'm going to do yet, to be honest with you. But I am going to close this valve. Alright. So, I have found with these, the easiest way to inflate them is to get them all laid out pretty well straight. Like that. That way the air flows better. Open this the first port here. If you open the second one, there's actually a one-way valve in here, so you can inflate it without air coming back out. But if you pull this tab, it will let the air out. So just the first one. Okay, that was about 11 breaths. That's way more than the pillow, but not anything where I'm lightheaded or crazy or I can't talk afterwards. You can see it has a nice honeycomb design. This in conjunction with the sleeping bag itself, and you can see the pillow down on that end. I really do think I'm actually gonna just leave that uninflated and just stick this right underneath here. Oops, I don't want the valve poking me in the back while I sleep. Stick this in here like such. And there we have it. Now, I was talking earlier about, oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. I was talking earlier about these rings that they have down on this cot. Not positive what they're for, and don't tell anybody, I did look at the instructions real quick, and guess what, it doesn't mention them at all. But I actually think, conferred with my cameraman expert here, I think that might be for like a strap or something to try and hold these pads onto the cot. If you've ever used a sleeping pad on a cot, that's actually a pretty big problem with these things really sliding off, especially if you toss and turn like I tend to do. So I may come up with some sort of, just some 550 cord or something and just tie a loop around here just to kind of hold it on there. But that sounds like future Mike's problem. So for now, yeah, I think that's going to be good. We'll try out the pillow, make sure the sleeping pad and the cot are going to work all right. And yeah, I think we're in for a fun night out in the tent. Okay, just want to wrap up the night's sleep in our sleep system that we have going on here. I'm going to start with our Outdoor Vitals pillow. I will say, it was very, very comfortable. I love the, whatever the material is that they use. It was very comfortable. I didn't have any issues with making me sweat or anything like that. I like the little round part, fits the head perfectly, and this absolutely stays in the mummy bag perfectly. The only problem that I had, and it wasn't with the Outdoor Vitals pillow, the only problem that I had was sleeping. I'm a side sleeper for the most part, and that puts your head all the way down like this, and it gets very, very uncomfortable. So nothing to do with the Outdoor Vitals pillow per se. What I actually ended up doing, I just rolled up a sweater and stuck that in the hood, and then set the pillow on top of that. Perfect, slept like a baby. So I actually have a different fix for this. If you remember when we were airing up the sleeping pad by Legit Camping, I'm not sure if you could still get this or not, but it's made by Legit Camping. Again, I ordered this, I purchased this a few years ago. This part right here, you can see it is not aired up, it's flat. This is a spot to air it up, and it kind of works as a pillow. So I think if I would actually have placed this the way it was supposed to go on the cot, aired this up, put the hood on this with my Outdoor Vitals pillow, I think I'd have been fine. So we're learning. We're learning now before we get to the island. That's perfect. So this was very, very comfortable. It's you know, still aired up. I didn't have any issues with it going flat, and that thing, you know, from Legit Camping, it packs into a bag that's this big. So you know, people think I'm crazy because I've got a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, a pillow, and all that. But when things pack down to this small, and they add a little bit of comfort when you're on your feet all day long, it's worth it, guys. I'm telling you. Figure out a way. You know, tie this to your pack. Do something. It's worth the comfort. When you get done with a long day, you want to be comfortable at night. So, Legit Camping sleeping pad. I love it. I've used it many, many times. But I think I will use the pillow next time and help myself out. So, the next part, the three-piece sleeping bag that I use here. You guys have seen tons and tons of videos online with these. These are amazing. They're really, really, really warm, and I spent most of the night with this thing unzipped, and half the time it was even open, just on the inside. Now, the average, according to the weather prediction, folks, the average temperature on the island for the week we're going to be there is about 50 degrees, and this goes down to negative 20. So I know what you're thinking, holy cow, that's overkill, and it is. But their lows are in the 30s at night, and I could take this apart and only take 1 or 2 pieces of this, but why? You're not gonna gain much weight savings, and you're not gonna make it much smaller. I would much rather be prepared for bad weather than be stranded out there, even with the wood stove. What if the wood stove breaks? What if something happens? What if the tent burns down? I can sleep outside on the ground in this, no problem. So, when you're stuck there for a week by yourself, you better have a good plan B and a good plan C. This is my plan B and C. So, last but not least, the Nature Hike cot. I think this thing was about 50-60 bucks on Amazon, and I will tell you, it's worth 50 or 60 bucks, in a good way and a bad way. It's a little narrow, and I'm a little wide, which is, that's a personal problem, but I will tell you this, it was pretty comfortable, especially with the air pad. It's really lightweight. It's really easy to put together. At no point in time did I ever touch the ground, and I'm a big feller, so it will hold the weight perfectly fine. I got in and out of this thing repeatedly to put wood in the fireplace overnight. Never had any issues with it tipping. Didn't have any issues with touching the ground when getting in and out of it. It's pretty good. I'm 5'7", 5'8". It's about all of that, so it is a little short, a little narrow. I understand that, but I'm trying to save weight, so I didn't want to go with anything really larger. So I really like it. It holds up. It held up really well to one night. We'll see how it goes over a week. I really like the wide foot pads. They help distribute the weight, so I don't have to worry about the tent floor. I still have these hooks, and I think I'm just going to run some paracord over the sleeping pad so it doesn't come off. Even though sleeping on this, I didn't really have any issues with the sleeping pad coming off or anything like that, like I did with the other cot I had last year. So that's going to be our sleep system. Tried it out. It was pretty cold out, and I was extremely warm. So I'm pretty happy with the system, and we'll see how it goes after a whole week of using this. So that does it for our sleep system. Everything seemed to test out okay. That's the plan moving forward. I'm going to take all of those things to the island with me, and I'm going to use them for a week. So hopefully they hold up for a week, and they're all as good as they were for one night. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you have any suggestions, questions, or comments about the products that I use, and we'll see you next time.